Thank you. Can you see the screen now? Okay, thank you, Professor James Avatakis. Thank you for your very insightful, powerful, and passionate presentation. I can sense your passion for teaching and passion for teaching. It's probably one common thing that brings all our global colleagues here together today. And also, I would like to thank the conference organizer, Anne-Marie and Anna, for all your hard work to set up this platform for us to share our experiences of teaching and also even to trigger some more interesting ideas for future practice. I'm going to fly through my presentation because I know after 10 minutes, Anna probably going to mute me after that. Okay. So the topic of my presentation is building meaningful connections with large online classes. What do I mean? I will go through that as I move along. So when we think about teaching at a third level institution, we probably think, oh, teaching in a physical classroom seems such a long distance memory. If we are allocated to a small class, I would say we are probably going to be blessed. But that's just our dreaming environment at the moment. The reality is that as a result of the pandemic, the online delivery has given us a lot of challenges, that's for sure. And this online delivery, as educators, when we suddenly shift to online delivery, we have many of us have very little remote teaching experiences, and it is even more scary, or maybe a lot of fun with it, is that if we are allocated with large classrooms or large class, then okay, then we will face some simultaneous challenges to teach large classroom online. So as we continue to discover new online teaching possibilities and foster effective online learning, continue to present some challenges, and not to mention in the context of large classes. So the presentation of the objective of my presentation today is really to share some of the experiences and my reflection on teaching online classes. The module I'm going to talk about is a marketing module delivered to undergrad business students with over 250 business students at the Dublin City University. And the module was moved online completely from September during that academic year, and the module was delivered through synchronous online teaching. The timing of that online delivery coincided with the emerging economic impact of COVID-19 on Irish business, particularly Irish SMEs. A lot of business was struggling, were trying to survive. So one of the objectives of my module was to teach students, or to encourage students to engage with their local SMEs and to carry out a marketing project to help those local businesses to identify their emerging marketing issues, or some pricing marketing issues, and try to come up with some recommendations or suggestions. So that's the background of the module. And the lessons I'm going to share with you, in there are 4 lessons. Let's see how much time I have. Lesson 1 is to serve the sea of online teaching related workshops and professional development program. The importance of professional development has been highlighted in the literature. It has been regarded as one of the very important part of a teaching strategy to enhance the quality of teaching and the learning. The sudden shift to online teaching has generated an immediate need for us to upskill our digital competencies. So we probably, many of us have attended some crash courses on teaching, online teaching, online workshops, using different tools and technology to encourage students' engagement and connections, etc. As in a very short space of time, online teaching, webinar workshops, publications have emerged in probably a couple of months' time. We have all attended so many different workshops, trying to figure out what tool to use, what techniques to use, and to get students engaged, get students connected with our module. I have to say that something worked for me is that we are very fortunate to have a teaching enhancement unit. I know one of my colleagues here, Rob, is here among the audience, and they deliver very informative workshops on time, so to give us a head start. So we are very fortunate to have these teaching online resources. And also another thing that really helped me is that I signed up for Harvard Business Publishing Education, this website. They produce so many interesting, powerful, insightful webinars, and interesting speakers give us a lot of tips in terms of how to get our classes going. As you can see, they are talking about the next step, things ahead of us, how to design teacher hybrid classes, etc. So I found that attending those seminars, workshops has been very, very helpful. But the sheer volume of different online webinars, workshops, and even publications can be overwhelming. What helped me and what worked for me was this: just try one thing at a time. Even just for this week, if I can only try a pool, that's fine, that worked for me. And next week, I'm just try another thing. So just try different things, just one small thing at a time, but consistently across the semester really worked for me. And that really helped to maintain our students' curiosity. They will be wondering what's going to happen next in my next lecture. So that worked for me. And my lesson 2 is to encourage citizen scholars through a curricular design and assessment strategy. We are very fortunate to have the Professor Avatakis and Professor Hopsey with here, because they are, this is the framework that we have just seen from the previous presentation. And this citizen scholarship by our 2 professors really, really inspired my teaching design. I have to say, I would like to create some opportunities for our students to practice their ethical thinking, their ethical research, practice reflective thinking, and building up their awareness of inclusion, diversity, etc. I think creating opportunities for students to practice those attributes are very, very important. So my assignment is, as I mentioned, to encourage students to work with their local SMEs to help them during this difficult time. So this is a very purpose-driven assignment which allows students to exercise as citizen scholars. So I always told my students, you are doing something very, very meaningful. This assignment, what you are doing will help your local business, will help your local community. What you are doing will be contributing to the society, to your local community. So this purpose-driven assignment really, I hope, I think has really motivated our students. They are engaging with over 50 local SMEs, and the completion rate, individual project completion rate was close to 99%. Only 1 or 2 students didn't complete due to extenuating circumstances. So that's my lesson 2. Lesson 3 is to balance online pedagogical care and self-care. We know that the ethos of care of the online teaching has been advocated by the researchers, by scholars. It has been further suggest that we need to pay attention to the affecting needs of learning. Students tend to be more engaged, they feel empowered to ask questions, they are more willing to participate in the class if they feel we can create such an environment. But in the meantime, when we move to online teaching, we are open to 24/7. So the tension between care for students and self-care has never been greater. And this is a very recent study. I really love this piece of work. If you can look through the reference, a very powerful piece of work there. They said working from home has been considered as a second contributor to workload intensification and the interruption of work-life balance. So how can we ease that conflicting demands? I have to say there are no secret weapons. To me, there are no secret weapons. I tried a few different things. For instance, I try to have a weekly dedicated drop-in clinics. We have over 250 students, but apart from a synchronous online delivery time, I have that dedicated hours, just drop in. If you have any questions, I will be here, try to ease those anxious students. I have created an FAQ sheet based on previous experience of teaching this module, set up clear communication in terms of email hours and the responding time. I try to create to do a few small activities each time with them. I have to emphasize the great the luxury that we have here in our system. We have a teaching assistant. So when we have a large class, we have not just a large class in DCU Business School. We have the system of the help from our teaching assistants. So when I'm running a big class, I have the assurance that our teaching assistant is there as a backup to monitor everything is going on, and to also help me with dealing with some of the email queries. So that's really a great help. I cannot emphasize this system more. Of course, we have some involved to struggle. Am I fine? I was stressed at sometimes, but one thing that have kept me going is the hope. Hope during those dark winter months. It's so difficult to keep students motivated, even to keep myself motivated, but I keep the hope within me, hoping that yes, there are brighter days ahead. I always told my students, look forward to the brighter days. You will be fine. We will be fine. And I joined the national walking challenge. So just I kept stepping away and just observing the flowers coming up. The spring is emerging. That hope really have kept me going. And just my lesson 4, and the last lesson, is to foster a sense of community among our students. Recent student survey of their learning experience during pandemic has shown that lacking engagement with their fellow peers is one of the things that they miss, and also 78 students list that peer support is one of the things that that is lacking during the pandemic. So we have to create this learning environment where we can encourage a sense of belonging and a sense of togetherness. So effort was made in my module to encourage that sense of togetherness. For instance, one of the assignments.
Just say you're just out of time. Just if you can wrap it up just now.
Yeah,
sorry.
I'm wrapping up. Final lesson, wrapping up. Yeah, this exercise is just to have a online discussion forum. But as you can see, there were lots of discussions during the week and lots of interaction among students. Just a very interesting and encouraging thing to see that students are learning from one another. They are building that connections among themselves to form up. So building meaningful connection in large online classes, to me, is not mission impossible. It does require some hard work, but with our commitment to continuous professional development with these 3 parallel approaches, students can connect with our module, connect with the community, and building up the connections among themselves. And this framework certainly has worked for me. So and finally, some rewarding moments. This is probably nothing more satisfying as an educator to see students a little bit of appreciation at the very end of the lecture. That's some references for my paper. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for our global colleagues here. And okay, I'm done.